Let's begin with an update on the H-1b visa controversy. Indian skilled workers are now facing major delays in visa vetting for those looking to work in America, as the U.S. State Department prepares to roll out new social media screening rules. At the same time, the department has reported mass visa revocations this year. It marks a clear escalation in the Trump administration's immigration controls. The U.S. State Department's new social media vetting requirement for H-1b visas has triggered large-scale rescheduling of interview appointments in India. The U.S. Embassy in India said that applicants who received rescheduling emails must follow the new date, and that anyone arriving on their old appointment date will be denied entry. Well, starting on December 15th, the State Department will expand its so-called online presence review to include all H-1b applicants and their H-4 dependents, a step previously limited to only students and exchange visitor categories. The official notice directs applicants to switch all social media profiles to public so that consular officers can review posts, activity and interactions. The department says this is necessary to identify individuals who may pose security risks. Well, the tougher scrutiny isn't limited to future applicants. The U.S. State Department has also announced that around 85,000 visas of all categories have been revoked since January. Well, on X, the department said President Trump and Secretary of State Rubio adhere to one simple mandate, and they won't stop anytime soon. The post was shared with an image of Donald Trump and the slogan, "Make America Safe Again." According to reports, a senior State Department official said that more than 8,000 of the revoked visas belong to students. Offences such as driving under the influence, theft and assault accounted for nearly half of these cancellations over the past year. The official did not, though, detail the remaining 2025 withdrawals, though earlier explanations have included expired visas and cases linked to support for alleged terrorism. This comes after President Trump's September decision to impose a $100,000 one-time fee on new H-1b visas, a move that hit Indian skilled workers the hardest, as they represent the majority of H-1b holders. Well, the annulments, the stepped-up checks and the new social media review all point to a tighter approval process. So for thousands of H-1b hopefuls, the message is clear. The path is becoming tougher, costlier and significantly slower, with more possible changes ahead. Well, for more on this, we have Mitali Nikor, founder of Nikor Associates and an economist, joining us live from New Delhi. Welcome to Spotlight. So what do you make of this unprecedented situation instigated by the US administration?
First of all, Gary, thank you for having me on the program today. I think we've been looking at the attitude of the US administration towards India manifesting in unexpected ways across different sectors and industries. It began with, a sort of frosty relationship that came between Prime Minister Modi and President Trump, despite, proclamations to the contrary, and was then followed with the 50% tariff that was imposed on India in August for reasons that still remain a mystery. There's been very slow progress on the Indo-US trade deal, and this is literally one of the actions that, at least from my own perspective, I see it as one action in a series of actions that, the US administration has pulled back its relationship with India and said that, we don't want these Indians who are benefiting. Nearly 70% of H-1b visas are given to Indians, and we don't see the benefit of bringing in these Indians into our economy. Of course, all of the research is to the contrary, because we know that H-1b visa holders create jobs for locals in the economy. They are bringing in a GDP benefit of nearly $500,000 in just the first 3 years of their employment, as per studies by American institutions like the NBER, and also they are the innovators in the American economy, bringing in new tech, bringing in new skills, bringing in higher order of innovation, research, and development, which is what has taken the American economy to the heights that it is at today. In many ways, it can be argued. So, therefore, definitely, this is a move which is surprising, but not when you look at it from the lens of the series of actions that have been taken.
Well, indeed. To what extent could this actually hurt the US economy when you consider the huge contribution made by skilled Indian employees, as you mentioned?
No, absolutely. I mean, this is for any economist. What their salt, they will point out that this would put the American economy at a significant competitive disadvantage. I've recently returned from trips to Europe and the UK, and Europe and the UK are already looking forward. The academic departments in several universities there, and also the industrial parks that are being set up. There are innovation hubs that are being established, and several European governments such as Germany and Italy and France, they are literally setting up tech hubs and tech innovation clusters across their countries, because they know that there are going to be a number of startup founders, and they've done the research, they've done the analysis, and found that several startup founders want to relocate from the US to Europe to the UK, because the kind of infrastructure and regulatory environment that these countries offer in the immediate term, it cannot be matched by other countries, and they're ready to take these innovators already. And in the longer term, in the medium to longer term, this also incentivizes Indians particularly to come back and build at home, because even the government of India realizes that this is the kind of talent and this is the kind of leaders, these global tech leaders are the ones that they want, who should come and invest in India. And they've set up programs, for example, like Gift City, where you can come in, register your company, be part of a simpler processing and tax regime. And there are other such initiatives also being set up across India in the southern states as well. So we're starting to see the ecosystems of countries in Europe, in the UK, and in India gear up to take this influx of people.
And what about then the human cost of all this, the uncertainty that this creates for those workers and their families?
See, at the end of the day, if you are an Indian with that level of, with that caliber, and the option for you is that you and your family will be discriminated in a country, but another country or in your home country you will be treated with respect. That cost, of course, the human cost is there, the relocation cost is there, and you would be uprooted to some extent. But at the same time, the dignity of working in a place where you are respected, where the government also respects you, where you are valued for your skills, outweighs that human cost of being uprooted from a community which you built for yourself. And of course, I do know of several Indians who are looking to come back to India after spending maybe 10 to 15 years in the US. And they are actually quite overjoyed by the prospect of coming back and contributing to India's growth, where they actually have family and connections.
Okay, Mitali, Nicole, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much indeed for joining us.
I was born into revolution. I inherited power like a crown. What I delivered was isolation. I built a personality cult that touched every home. Millions suffered hunger under my rule, but no one dared to speak. I ruled from palaces. My people queued for rice. I called myself the dear leader. History calls me something else, the dictator. Who am I?